He is costing our country a fortune. This is what Donald Trump said the other day about Fed Chair Jay Powell. Trump wants the Fed to cut rates. Most presidents want that. But what's different here is the president is making a link to our national debt. Next year, interest expense will top $1 trillion. It's more than our defense budget. We owe $36 trillion. We've reached the point where the Federal Reserve's decisions on interest rates have a meaningful effect on the budget deficit. It's like crossing the Rubicon. We've moved into a new paradigm. Trump added that if the Fed cuts rates now, it would lower the cost of rolling over some bonds that are maturing. The average rate we pay on all government debt outstanding is 3.29%. It has an average maturity of just under 7 years. If somehow Trump could pressure the Fed to keep rates just a quarter point lower, that would add up to tens of billions of dollars in reduced interest expense. It would quite literally lower the deficit. Because our debt has grown so relentlessly, we're entering a period that will compromise the Fed's ability to fight inflation. Next time they raise rates, this president or the next one is likely to complain loudly about the increased cost of borrowing being forced on the federal government. Maybe that's as it should be. Current thinking is that aiming for 2% inflation is the best way to ensure maximum employment. But what if the next time the Fed has to respond to inflation, the higher rates they impose cause a long-term hike in the rates we pay on our bonds? Fed Chair Jay Powell will argue that monetary policy must be indifferent to this. It's a fiscal issue that's beyond their mandate. That's the right answer. But it will be an issue for Congress and the president. What this means is that the size of America's borrowing is making the Fed's job harder. We'll never know what impact, if any, Trump has on their choices in the future. The Fed will naturally say they just focus on the job at hand. But the reality is that how monetary policy is conducted will impact the deficit. You'd think it should create more incentives to close the gap between tax revenues and spending. I think it's more likely to make monetary policy a hostage to fiscal policy. It means we're more likely to take some risk with inflation. Maybe they'll hold off that additional hike in the hope that inflation has peaked. It means that inflation is likely to be higher than 2% because we're losing some of the fiscal flexibility we used to have to fight it. Every investor should worry about long-term inflation running at 3 or 4%, not 2%. The University of Michigan Consumer Survey shows that inflation expectations are higher than during the pandemic. Midstream energy infrastructure companies have business models that provide some inflation protection. Around half the EBITDA, or cash flow, that the industry generates comes from fees on pipelines and other facilities that are linked to the Producer Price Index, the PPI. If you're concerned about what our fiscal mess means for inflation, and you should be, we think an allocation to the pipeline sector could be an important addition to your portfolio. If you're interested in learning more about the energy sector and interest rates, then don't forget to subscribe and follow us on LinkedIn and Twitter. Our handles are in the description box below. To find out more about what we're thinking, you can sign up for our twice-weekly blog at sl-advisors.com. If you have any questions you'd like answered in this video, then please leave them down below. I'm Simon Lack. Thank you for watching this video.